that's good, good and easy all the time, time, time. That's good, good and easy all the time. And hello to our food notes number 36. And for now, this is a really sad day because this is gonna be our last show for a while at least, right?
Yes, it looks like. So we have it looks like we're gonna maybe just put the cook show on ice because Melissa, who is holding the camera, has to leave us. It's very sad for her, for us, but it's just the way it is. And but today not. We're still gonna cook a great meal, that Uwe has actually picked out, and I get to say what it is. It's a fried rice, but it doesn't follow any real traditional recipe. It's just sort of put together the way Uwe always does it, and I absolutely love it, and I think it's just wonderful.
It's just a little comfort food that we need.
It is. It really is.
Ingredients, of course, I got some Napa cabbage here. We got about half. We'll see how much we actually use. It really depends on the size of the bowl. We're gonna cut some of this up very finely. I got about a pound of pork neck, which is my favorite. Really, it has the most flavor per unit. Really, it's wonderful. And then I'm gonna put some garlic in there, scallions, spring onions, a little bit of carrot, some onion, 3 eggs.
And then we need some coconut oil that we use for this dish because it just tastes good, really. Yes. Because it has a little bit of an Asian touch. What we use since we were children. I mean, our stepmother's father, he lived in Indonesia in the 20s, and he brought back some Indonesian kitchen. That was very strange for us when we were like 1975 or so. But we got introduced to this wonderful flavoring. It's called sambal oleg, which is a chili paste, just water, salt, and chili, and it's very neutral, but it tastes really great like chili. It doesn't have any other tastes in it. Right. Then we have some pre-cooked rice. This is basmati rice,
long grain.
Yes, and it's just a cup of rice, and we have maybe some soy sauce in the end, some salt and some pepper, 3 eggs,
and that's pretty much it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah,
very simple.
Yeah, great.
So let's start cutting. Oh, we have a cucumber here too. We can just use for a little garnish then.
In the end, yes, it's just great to have a little fresh cucumber with no sauce or anything.
So yes, if you can cut this stuff, then I can go ahead and do the meat. Okay.
All right, good. We prepared this already a little bit, took some of the outer leaves away that were not, and of course we cut it in half. So all we have to do is
shred it.
And just really cut it.
You want to take this knife, please?
Yeah, I think yes. This is a bigger knife. Thank you.
So. Perfect. We don't actually need a lot of cabbage. A half of one,
I think this is already enough.
Yeah. Couple of hands.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Yes. Super.
I think this is already.
This is already.
Yeah, this is already.
Maybe you can have that knife back, Jens.
Yeah, of course.
Because it cuts well. Now, for the pork, of course, you can take chicken. You can take all sorts of. You can take beef. I think pork is my favorite in fried rice.
Yeah.
It really is.
It's delicious.
And since it goes in first to the pan, you can take a little tougher cut, like the neck, like I said. I'm going to cut it in little cubes, about like this.
Yeah.
And then it don't take long to cook at all. All right.
And when we said we want to do fried rice, a lot of times you do it with shrimp.
Yeah, or you do ham.
Shrimp
is wonderful, yes. Chicken is the classic. Yeah. So. Jens, I have to sharpen your knives again. Well, it's so sad. Now,
don't talk about it.
Why not?
You know what? This is for me though. Good meal. Yeah. You just need 1 carrot, right? Anyway. you said.
Yeah, the most again. You know, it doesn't take much really, because the main ingredient, of course, is the rice. It's called fried rice, but.
Did you see how well this peeler actually does?
We still have a few.
We still have a few.
Yep.
What I'm going to do with what we have left over? Hope people still order them.
You wanted to have this little frying thing?
Let's see how big it is.
Wait, I think it looks perfect. And it's too late now anyway, the time to turn on time.
Okay. A small onion is plenty. Don't need too much onion.
What do you think of it?
Wonderful. Looks great. So, good handful of this stuff. If you have shallots, you can just use a shallot or two. It'll just give a slightly different flavor, but it'll work just as well. That's it. That's for the onions. What do you think, Jens?
Yes, good scramble, man. Fantastic.
Now for the garlic, I think we should press the garlic. Garlic press, yes.
Yeah, okay.
So all I'm going to do is pretty much just peel it a little bit. And of course, when the recipe calls for 1 clove of garlic, I put in at least 3. But that's me, you know. So garlic is good. But, okay, we're almost onions, right? Hmm.
Wasn't quite professional, but proficient.
All right.
Yeah, these cook shows, they were a lot of fun now. I really enjoyed them.
When did we start? In November,
We
right?
started, yes,
Gosh, I was trying to remember that the other day. Was it late October, early November?
I think it was November, right? Because I said we should do a cook show before we left to Switzerland last year.
Yes. Uh-huh.
And then we went to Switzerland, then we came back. We started to have our first cook show, I think, in November, you know, sometime, mid-November, sometime, you know, we started to go. And then went pretty much straightforward, right? I mean,
We only had a few we didn't do, maybe?
around New Year's maybe or something, I don't know.
No, I missed
Yeah.
one when I was sick. Remember when I got my cellulite? Cellulitis?
Yeah.
I didn't. I'm ending up cutting my garlic anyway, so that's all right.
Ah, okay.
So,
Yeah, so
yeah,
yes.
we missed 1 week, I think. That was it.
And your credits were funny.
Those credits, they were always like my bonus after I cut everything. I waited till the end of it, you know, and come up with something strange, you know, open my Wikipedia
And we had Joel here one time.
yeah.
You know, Joel committed one time to come by.
Jody was here a couple of times.
Joel was here twice, yes.
So we're almost done, right? Just the scallions.
Yeah, you want to cut them as well?
Yeah, what do you think? You want to cut them?
No, go ahead.
I got the onion stuff here. Yeah. Scoundrels. I like this stuff. I can just eat this on bread.
Well, it is.
Yeah, my mom used to make just, pieces of bread with chives or something and a little quark.
Yeah, it's like Greek yogurt.
Yeah.
And you could, if you just put a little Greek yogurt on a piece of bread and a little bit of salt and then just fresh onions or fresh scallions or that's pretty much my grandpa. How do you call that? It's not cumin. It's caraway.
Yeah.
My grandpa would take caraway and radish. How do you call it? Little
Radish.
Radish. He would cut up little radish and he put caraway, salt, and a little Greek yogurt, salt, caraway, and put some slices of radish on top. That was his favorite on black bread and pumpernickel. That was his favorite food. And he got to be 103 years old, so it can't be bad for him.
Good about it.
There must be something good about it.
So, wonderful. That was all the preparation it took. It's just a joy to come up with those little pieces that we did over all these shows, right? Just sitting with no no microphones, no nothing. Just to sit here and play like we always do when we sit in the kitchen.
Absolutely.
I'm so glad that technology nowadays lets us do this.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I remember, when I came up with this tune many years ago, over 30 years ago.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, I was living in the gardener's house of a castle, and there was a courtyard. And there were stairs, to my entrance of the house I was living in.
Couple steps,
It's really, stone steps, and we would sit out in that courtyard, with the gravel. And there's an old tower, that was part of my house where I could use, to give lessons, and the old house that was out of wood that was built onto the wall of the castle, and we would sit in that courtyard and totally in a magical world, and there was these passages in this tune, and we never used any of this kind of music. And for Uwe, it was really a challenge because we played bluegrass and
I played a lot of rock and roll.
rock and roll, but
then Jens showed up with his new compositions, and they were totally different to anything I've ever played before. And I had to come up with a new way of playing the guitar for this, and still today, I still love doing it.
How that felt, right?
Yeah. But I remember, I learned this one, I still remember when we came up with this up in Heckling in that old farmhouse that I lived in. It was just the kids would come over and we'd have some breakfast, and then
actually that was inspired by this little riff, for instance, was inspired by Dave Kruger, the Three Cowboys Suite. Yeah. And it was has a little passage in it like that. I heard Dave Grusin's music, first in that on Golden Pond. Mm-hmm. Remember that?
Oh,
movie?
Beautiful.
And that movie, I saw it and I said, wow, what a great score. And that was Dave Grusin, and I bought, Dave Grusin orchestral, music from when he recorded with the London Symphony Orchestra, and that really inspired me. That gave me a whole new entry door, to things.
And then we ended up just playing banjo and guitar.
let's cook. Time to cook.
Well, I think it's going to heat up some coconut oil. Now Jens likes coconut oil. I like ghee, so you can use any kind of cooking
But
oil.
you have used coconut oil.
Oh yeah.
I think coconut oil is a wonderful thing. It smells so well with the pork, you know, with the, it's just, it gives such great flavor.
Yeah, we start with the meat. I like to have my face right there. See, I put a tiny little bit of my meat in there just to check for temperature. There's many different ways of doing it, but I just wait until this starts to sizzle a little bit, and then I know it's hot enough. Because what we don't want is that the pan cools down too much in the beginning, so that the meat doesn't get too soupy. Okay. The reason I like this pan is it's got a lot of surface, which means you can start without crowding the pan too much. This already smells good. Smell that, Jens? You smell that?
Yes.
When you start the meat, be patient with it, not to move it too quickly. You want to give it a moment before you start moving it. I know, you see a lot of Chinese cooks, they go straight away like this, but they have much higher temperatures that we work with here. So these are a little different. See, and I use a spatula like this. See, it starts to get a little color. So when you make fried rice, it's important that you take old rice that you cooked the last day, because it has a chance to actually dry out. If you use fresh rice and cool it down, it'll be probably too wet to become this fluffy stuff that we like so much. You see, now here the pork is starting to get nice color. And I see that I don't get too much piled up meat, so that it can really fry instead of cook. So the nice thing about pork is it's like the other white meat. It doesn't take much longer to cook than chicken. So it's a really. But if you had chicken, same process. You just start with the. Now you could put this on the side and start with the onions, but today I'm just going to put the onions right in there once the meat's crunchy enough. I always try not to put the salt in right now, because if you put salt in the meat right now, it will lose too much juice. And if it loses too much juice, it has no chance to become nice and crispy. You're going to have a sauce in the bottom. So no salt yet. There's going to be plenty of time to salt the meat a little later. The fried rice that you get at restaurants is usually a lot of fat and a lot of salt. This is why it's sometimes not so good for you. But if you make it yourself, you can be very sparing those things. It's like we're not going to use MSG, really. So I'm handling this almost like a wok now. You see the meat is almost done. What I do now is I push everything on the side, and I'm going to add my onions and the garlic. Here in the middle. give it a little bit of a moment for it to be by itself. Onions now are getting glassy and soft. It only took about 3 minutes or so, 4 minutes. I'm going to move them on the side too, just a little bit like that. So I have my free spot here. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to add my carrots. They're going to take a moment. I'll get my carrots ready. And again, they're going to pull a little bit of steam. They're going to pull a little bit of pull a little bit of water. You see, I could just eat this already, so the carrots are softened up for my flavor. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a few tablespoons of sambal right here.
Ooh, this is going to be hot.
No, it's not too bad. It's going to be a big portion, Jens. Really. But you know that I don't like it hot, but this stuff here, the sambal just likes it when you heat it up a little bit first. Okay. Now we can start mixing this stuff up a little bit. Well, that looks pretty good, don't it? Already. Now for the rice. I don't know, how much rice did you cook here? It's about 2 cups, right?
This is 1 cup.
1 cup. 1 cup of cooked, 1 cup of rice, raw rice before it got cooked. That should be good enough for about Now we can add a little bit of soy sauce to that. You see, all the time I left the burner on full, on hot. Because every ingredient that we add gives us a little bit of a cooling effect in the pan. So now I put another hole here in the middle, you see that? And add some of the cabbage now. Well, we're gonna put it all in there. Because that really only needs to wilt down a little bit. You don't really have to cook it a lot. It gives it that fresh taste. Let's see if we can just warm it up a little bit. This is why I use a spatula, because I can scrape the bottom of this now. I'm gonna check how I'm gonna do it for the soy sauce and the I'm gonna add a little bit of fresh pepper. Scallions, but not all of them. I'm gonna use a little bit to garnish the plates. Looks nice, don't it? Fluffy. Great. Now we're almost done. Everything is nice and hot. What we have left to do is the eggs. Now in China, I think they start with the eggs usually. In Thailand, the eggs come at the end. That's how I like to do it. Again, I just put them in the middle, make a hole. So I make an omelette here. Or scrambled eggs, actually. I like to do this in the end because the egg somehow stays fluffier that way. Egg is nice and done all the way. I can mix it up. And we're almost done, almost ready to eat. Don't let it sit too long because it's going to lose its nice fluffiness if you wait for too long. And we got us a pan of fried rice.
This looks fantastic and smells fantastic. I said the only way you could ruin rice is if you put fish, broccoli, or Brussels sprouts in it. And you didn't do either of that, so I'm very happy. And we've had a debate, fork or spoon. I'm gonna go with the fork. Cannot wait. This looks fantastic. Oh, it's got some kick to it.
Yeah.
It's
See,
good.
that's what the cucumber is for. You know, we just
Right.
eat raw cucumber with it and that will tone
That's
down the
good.
kick. You
It's
know, if
good.
not too
It's
hot.
delicious. You did very good, Uwe.
Isn't that something?
It's better than Chinese takeout.
I wish I hope so.
Well, how do we say in Swiss German?
En
En gute miteinander.
Fantastic. Thank you, Melissa.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
That was Food Notes number 36.
What adventure this was.
It was absolutely amazing. The stuff that we cooked in the fondues and everything that we had. It was
And
just
they had people cooking along all over the world, you know. without,
getting
you know,
pictures. I just got a picture from Australia. It's winter down there, so they fixed the fondue.
Yes. And look at this here.
Yeah.
This is the best. Do you wear it? Yeah. This is the best logo.
But not backwards today.
No, it's not backwards. No, thank you so much. Thank you, Melissa, for helping us with all these cook shows and being
Couldn't have
so
done it without you.
flexible and learning, you know, how to run the camera and doing everything. Without you, we could not have done it. And well, we wish you luck, Melissa, and we wish you all luck at home. Stay healthy, stay safe. We want to thank you for supporting us, helping us through all this time, you know, and watching our cook show. Maybe we can return one day.
Yeah.
Who knows, you know, with this. We're gonna still, you know, we're gonna continue with our music shows for sure.
Absolutely.
And we might have other ideas that we can share, things we can share with you. But we want to thank you for your support and your loyalty to us, you know, being with us at these cook shows through this chaos sometimes, you know, cooking.
It's kind of a
and
little
playing
sad that we're done with it, you know. But folks,
It's
stay
all
well
right.
and
Stay well. We love you. Don't forget.
en god videre.